And we have a call, I believe, on Colorado, perhaps for holding the stick.
Well, John, the Edmonton Oilers players said that the first 10 minutes of the hockey game, the Avalanche took it to them physically. Then they responded, and they thought they played well. But by then, they felt it was maybe too late. So they did not want to come out here in Game 3 and have the same thing happen.
And it's against Forsberg. Did he hit the goalpost on this shot?
I think he's the far side of the post. And there's been all kinds of comparisons in a city that had Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky. They're calling Peter Forsberg a combination of the two.
Well, the Oilers in the first 2 games, 3 of 17 on the power play. They were 2 for 10 in Game 2. Oilers get the game's first man advantage. In front, a shot by Berehowski, and that was blocked by Stefan Yell. And the puck goes out of play.
Well, for Patrick Waugh, win number 97 of his playoff career. That's the most any goaltender has ever had in the history of this league. And he always seems to be able to pick it up to another notch come playoff time.
Now Marchand on the faceoff. He is between Fraser and McCammond. Fitzgerald trying to clear it. Held in by the Oilers. Now fired down the ice. Yanni Nienema, number 24 on defense for Edmonton. Remember, missed Game 2 with a concussion. He is back tonight. No score early. And the pass picked off by the veteran Jari Kurri. And now grabbed by Nienema. He had 4 shots and was +2 in Game 1. McCammond walks in front of backhander, and that was wide. 45 to go in the power play. Nienema, the ex-Flyer, into Marchand, right point Berehowski. And that was blocked by Yell with his leg, kept in by the Oilers, but now Yell picks his pocket, and he clears it down the ice.
Great penalty kill by Stefan Yell. He blocked 2 shots, got the puck, dug it out of the zone, gets it all the way down at the other end.
Nearly 2 minutes gone in the first period, no score. Waite flies to center, 45 to go in the power play. Waugh missed it back there, now taken by Ryan Smith on the line to Mironov. Shot right on goal, and a save by Waugh. Hammerlick gets it. That shot got through, and again Waugh the save, and Sakic clears it ahead to Deadmarsh. Hammerlick has lost his stick here, and Deadmarsh goes right at him. Now in front, backhander and a save by Joseph, and the rebound is picked up by Ryan Smith. Here comes Waite again, working on Gusarov, and Waugh pokes one to the corner, and Gusarov goes high in the air and down the ice. 10 to go in Forsberg minors. Hammerlick has a new stick. Now for Mironov. And a bouncer ends up in the corner. Krupp will get to it, but knocked down by Guerin. Now for Rem Murray. Krupp again for the Avs. And Forsberg is back on the ice, so the Avalanche have killed it off. And the Oilers are now 3 for 18 on the power play in this series. No score as Lefebvre lobs it in. And Joseph will hang on. And we get a whistle. So a good early penalty kill by the Avalanche. And we are 0-0 here in the first period.
Nothing catches your eye like the more luxurious 200 horsepower Accord V6. An Accord like no other.
We asked Catherine and David Martin to lend us their answering machine and try the US West voice messaging service. Catherine was thrilled because now she can talk on the phone and still get messages. David was delighted because now he can get messages without worrying about broken tapes or muffled messages. So it's no surprise that when we tried to return their old machine, they didn't seem a bit interested. US West. Life's better here.
And today's injury report brought to you by your Rocky Mountain Ford dealers.
Well, for the Colorado Avalanche, Rene Corbet will be out 4 to 6 weeks, which means the Avalanche would at least have to get to the conference finals before Corbet would have any chance of returning.
Forsberg wins a face-off. Oh, Troop a shot. And a good stick save by Joseph. By the way, with that last penalty kill, Prime Star donates $50 to the Colorado Special Olympics. And a shot by Nienema, turned away by Waugh. And Forsberg to center, cut off by Frank Musil. And the Oilers drop it back in their own zone. And again, Nienema now for Musil. Blocked at center by Lemieux. This is Kamensky. He was hit. Lemieux trying to charge in, but he was slowed down by Musil. And Guerin goes up the middle, and the Oilers take an icing call if Waugh doesn't touch it, and he doesn't, so icing call.
John, we talk an awful lot about how good the ice is here, and it makes for such a fast hockey game. Both of these clubs practiced here yesterday. Edmonton left right after the game, got in real late, but they practiced yesterday afternoon. The Avalanche left about 11 o'clock yesterday, got into town, came right to the rink, and we watched both teams practice. And John, the speed was unbelievable. And you could just feel that both teams were up and ready for this game today.
Two of the quickest teams, Ron Lowe, of course, the head coach of the Oilers, now in his 4th year. He spent 6.5 years as an assistant coach here at Edmonton. So he paid his dues, the former goaltender who once played for the Quebec Nordiques.
And there was a lot of heat on him early.
Here's a shot by Krupp. They score! Tipped in, I believe, by Deadmarsh. And the Avalanche get a big face-off. They've owned the face-offs in the series, and it's 1-0.
One of the most dominant areas for the Avalanche this playoff series has been face-offs, which weren't a real strength for them during the regular season. But the Avalanche, with Joe Sakic back in the lineup, just flat win the draw. Anytime you win it that clean, good things are going to happen. I think, as you mentioned, John, Deadmarsh may have tipped it. He certainly was a screen on the play at least, as Sakic picks up his 3rd point now since returning to the lineup last game.
So the Avalanche, like they have in every game in this series, have scored the first goal. Well, they give the goal to Krupp, but I believe it hit Deadmarsh. Sakic gets the assist on the goal at 3:50. And it's 1-0 Colorado. As Hammerlick works it ahead and to center ice. Now Aaron Miller over to Lefay. Long pass. Reichel, I think, knocked it down with a high stick. And we get a stoppage in play. Peter, this has been a story this year between the Avalanche and Oilers. Colorado, in the regular season in 6 games, outscored Edmonton 6-1 in the first period. And counting this goal, it's 3-0 in this series in the first period.
Yeah, if there's been a constant so far in this playoff series, the early parts of periods, watch the shot. Can't quite see, but it seemed to hit something on the way through. But the Avalanche, be it the first, second, or third period of the hockey games, have come out early. The better hockey club, a little more jump, and Edmonton's regrouped in certain periods, but they have been outplayed in the first 5 minutes, I think, of each period.
On the line, Bobby Dallas a shot, and that was blocked by Adam Foote. And Forsberg kicks it ahead, and here comes Odgers with Reichel and Forsberg. Reichel against Berehowski, now picked up by Odgers. Cycles it back for Reichel. He had a goal called back in game 2. Now Odgers bumped by Mike Greer. A couple of heavyweights there. Forsberg trying to work away from Dallas, showing his size and strength. Now Forsberg spins around to Reichel. Kept in by Ozil. Penalty coming up here against Edmonton. As Greer touches it, and a cross-checking minor on the Oilers. Well, Peter, a streak has come to an end. We know Forsberg did not get a point on that first goal.
He was not on the ice, so he couldn't have got his 8th point on the Avalanche's 8th goal of this series. But, you know, this is an interesting line that Mark Crawford throws out. And you've got Forsberg with Lemieux and Kamensky. Everybody knows about that line. But he's also makes it tough for Ron Lowe, because when he throws him out with this line with Reichel and Odgers, it's a whole different look. All 3 of them bang, play tough down low. So you've got, for a second time, you've got a match a line that Peter Forsberg is centering.
Well, it looked like from that replay that Dallas cross-checked Forsberg, but Greer goes off at 5:03.
Greer cross-checked Odgers right in front of the net.
So they called one and let the other go, and the Oilers cleared down the ice. The Avalanche in this series are 3 for 14 on the power play. They had 2 goals on 10 chances in Game 2. 1-0 here on the goal by Krupp from Sakic. Kamensky gets free at center. He dropped it back. Forsberg missed it. And the Oilers' Todd Marchand will roll it down the ice. Mark Crawford was very happy with his club's performance on the power play in Game 2. Sakic gets the puck to center. Rink wide to Ozelic. He had 3 assists in the last game, but he slowed himself a bit and put the play offside with 1:21 to go in the power play.
It's amazing how much better you feel about your power play when you add Joe Sakic to the unit. I mean, Sakic just brings so much to the Colorado Avalanche. For Peter Forsberg, John, since returning from that groin injury that everybody was so worried about at the end of the season, look at Forsberg numbers. And that's not including the last goal. 12, so it's now 12 of the last 16 goals that the Avalanche have scored. Peter Forsberg has been in on.
14:18 to go in the opening period. 1-0 for the Avalanche. 1:15 to go in Greer's minor. Ozelic and Krupp on defense here. Up front, Jones, Deadmarsh, and Lacroix. Good pass by Krupp in for Deadmarsh. Can't get around the man, but Ozelic is there and had it knocked away by Buchberger and down the ice.
And for the Avalanche, you know, when they're at their best, this second line, so-called second line with Sakic, Jones, and Deadmarsh are effective offensively, and that's what we've seen so far in this game.
Now Jones gets it with 45 to go in the man advantage, drives it in. Deadmarsh, quick shot. That goes wide. Lindgren trying to clear it, and he gets some help and some support from Mironov, and down the ice it goes. 30 to go in the power play. Now it's Lefebvre and Miller on defense here. Sakic up front. He gets the pass and works it in now to Miller. Sakic back to the goal. Now Yari Curry on the far side. Oilers try to clear it away, and Rim Murray, who was a healthy scratch in Game 2, does get the puck to center ice. Now 5 to go in the power play. Miller, good feed to Curry. Doesn't dump it in. And here's Miller, but Greer is back on, so both clubs are 0 for 1 in the power play in this game. And tipped in by Curry. Joseph has to play it in the last second as Reichel was in there. That would have been an icing call. And now we'll get one at the other end as Gusarov goes back. And Reichel and Berehowski get their sticks up as we take a break here in the first period with the Avalanche on top by 1.
From bored to human and back again. But this time, 7 of 9 isn't the only one making a shocking transformation.
State your instructions.
We've got a war to fight.
We understand.
Is this the future of Voyager?
When diplomacy fails, there's only one alternative. Violence. It's the Starfleet way.
Find out on an all-new episode.
Wednesday night at 8 on UPN 20.
99.5 FM The Hawk. The difference is the music.
It's about music in the morning.
Not talk.
I get talk at work all day long.
I don't want a lot of talk.
I need my rock and roll.
I need to wake up in the morning with the Hawk.
99.5 FM, The Hawk.
Great rock and roll.
It's just music, music, music.
Get you all excited. You fired up.
Absolutely. While everyone else is talking, the Hawk is rocking.
The Hawk! I mean, what do you want? Talk or music? I want the Hawk, not the talk.
At 99.5 FM The Hawk, it's about the music.
On today's AutoZone leaderboard, Forsberg with 7 points.
Courtnall with St. Louis, 6 points. Those all came in Game 1.
Now Tom Fitzgerald on the faceoff against Doug Waite. Fitzgerald kicked out, so Yale, who of course normally is the center on this line, I believe they wanted Fitzgerald to take the faceoff, but he's tossed, so Yale will take it against Waite. It's Yell, Fitzgerald, and Odgers as the Oilers get the puck on the boards. And Ryan Smith was hammered, but gets it out. Adam Foote puts it right back in. Knocked down by Nienema. Now for the veteran, Musil. Center ice to Ryan Smith. Gutherop tipped it away, and now it's over the boards and out of play at the Oilers bench.
And John, this gives us a chance to talk about some of the games going around the league. Look at this. Phoenix now up 2-1 in this series. Next game in Phoenix. They come back. They were down. They got a couple of third-period goals to win this one. You got to know that Detroit is starting to feel the squeeze a little bit, because Phoenix is the kind of club, they're big. They've got some talented guys with Tkachuk, Jeremy Roenick. But, you know, this would be a 1-8 upset.
And Detroit got their first 2 goals in the first 65 seconds of the game. Phoenix came back with 2 late ones, a tying goal by Roenick, and apparently Roenick also got the winner.
So Roenick's had 4 goals the last 2 games for the Coyotes.
Now the Avalanche who lead 1-0. Fitzgerald at center, in for Lacroix. And Joseph trying to play it for Greer, tucked in by Ozolinsh, a shot. And Joseph got his right pad down, and now Musil goes up the middle for Valerie Zelepukin, who is in the lineup for the first time in this series. And Forsberg was bumped near the Avalanche bench, but in it goes.
And that was Greer. And John, you know the bench was yelling at Forsberg because he did not see Greer coming from behind.
Now Doug Waite, a centering pass, and Foote tipped it away. And he gets it back to center again. It is the Waite line against this Forsberg trio. Guerin, number 9. He has scored 3 goals already in this series, all on the power play. In front, a shot. Oh, off foot, and Waugh had to be very alert. It nearly got into the net, but Patrick got back and made the save.
And you see Adam Foote, as the puck was sliding back, Foote had his stick there, was sort of tangled up. He just dropped it because he saw that Patrick had the puck and he did not want to chip it. We saw Bookberger cut it through right there. Watch the stick. So he just drops it and lets it go. He doesn't want to touch that puck. Patrick Waugh, I thought, was very sharp in Game 2. Avalanche win 5-2. He only gave up 2 goals, both on 5-on-3 power plays for Edmonton, both by Billy Guerin.
Nothing here for the Avalanche on the goal by Krupp from Sakic at 3:50. And again, we get a face-off.
Well, John, we talked about just that area, or that level, that zone that Patrick Waugh can take himself to. Look how he improves in every important category come playoff time. The left, the regular season, good numbers. On the right, playoff numbers. When it gets tough, in 155 playoff games, Patrick Waugh has won 97.
That's why he's also won 3 cups and 2 Conn Smythe trophies. Here's Deadmarsh, 2-on-2 to center, in for Jones. Deadmarsh trying to knock it down. Her shot was blocked by Mironov. And the Oilers tip it out. Ozolinsh controls it for the Avs. Now Jones on the near side. Murray for Edmonton with Lindgren and Greer now dumped in. And Waugh heads out of the cage and gets it on the board. Jones takes care of Murray. And the puck to center ice for Deadmarsh. He's alone in there. Kicked away by Mironov. And a Hammerluck now on for Lindgren. Poked in by Greer. Not in the lineup today for the Avalanche. Sean Donovan, John Clem, Francois Leroux, and Eric Messier. The Oilers have scratched Kevin Lowe and Greg DeVries, along with Andrei Kovalenko, who has yet to see action in this series. McCammon to pass to center. Now snared by Nienema. Looks for a shot. Oh, is he ever belted by Aaron Miller? And hacked around the boards by Lefebvre. Chipped out. Here's Reichel. He's onside. Now gets some help in there from Jeff Odgers. But the Oilers intercept. And the rookie, Scott Fraser. And that was offside as Marchand was in on right wing. And we get a whistle.
Well, John, this series starts off in Colorado first 2 games, and there were an awful lot of penalties. You look at the numbers, 230 minutes the first 2 games. That's 86 more than any other series had. But I don't see that happening here today, especially if the game's close. Neither club wants to give away the advantage. A lot of the penalties that come at frustrating times during the hockey game, especially late in game 2, and the Avalanche had it put away. There were some misconducts, some fights, and that's where a lot of the penalty minutes added up.
Although during the regular season, both of these clubs were in the top third as far as minutes are concerned. The Avalanche were 8th with 21.1 PIMs a game. The Oilers right behind them at 9th spot. Kamensky goes wide, and a high-rising wrist shot is over the goal. Held in by Gusarov. Now Forsberg in front. Lets it go to Kamensky. Gets it back of the goal for Forsberg. To Kamensky. Forsberg in front. And a backhander is on goal, and a save by Joseph. And now Kamensky and Forsberg become involved again.
You know, the Edmonton Oilers will play Peter Forsberg as tough and as mean as Peter Forsberg will play the Edmonton Oilers. But the one thing that the Edmonton Oilers have for Forsberg, you read it in the paper, you feel it when you're talking to him, is respect. Because no matter what happens, Peter Forsberg has not said a single thing in the paper about the injury he took, the cut he took from Billy Guerin. He has said nothing. He just goes out, plays hockey. He is not one of those superstars that whines and complains about everything that goes on in the ice. As Kevin Lowe said, he just sticks it right to you and smiles.
In the papers today, both papers had all kinds of stories on how great Forsberg has been, how wonderful a player he is, and how do the Oilers stop Forsberg? So far, they haven't found a way. Ozolinsh a drive, and that was kicked away by Joseph. Now Sakic in front to Deadmarsh. The Avalanche leading here 1-0. Deadmarsh knocked down back of the goal by Musil. And it's caught in the skates of Musil and Deadmarsh. And we have a stoppage in play. 8:57 to go in the opening frame. It's 1-0 for the good guys.
Please don't drive drunk.
Budget now rents Jaguars and other diversions. Budget, get out of the ordinary. Now join Perfect Drive and earn a free Callaway Golf Club with just 5 rentals.
Well, Mark Crawford's club on top by 1. We talked to him a bit earlier and asked him if he's surprised that this series has been so tough.
No, I think that the playoffs always is tight checking. It's always going to have emotions that spill over. I was watching some of the earlier games here today, and they're talking about the same type of intensity, the same type of action in all the other series. And when you play each other time and time again, hostilities are going to rise because emotions are a big part of these games.
8:45 to go in the first period. As Sakic gets it ahead to Deadmarsh, and he'll chip it down the ice.
One guy the Avalanche are going to have to try, keep an eye on anyway is number 25, Greer. He has 4 or 5 times already in this game put big hits.
Oh, good play out of his goal now for Ozolinsh, but Berehowski breaks it up. And Tony Herkus in for Edmonton for Zelikokin. In front, and Ozolinsh made a good play as he tipped it away from Ryan Smith. And Eric Lacroix with Yale. They chip it to the corner. Joseph, had it knocked down by Yale. In front to Fitzgerald in an open net. Now Miller on the line. Right on, a save by Joseph. On that point shot by Miller. Kept in by Lacroix, but now hacked away by Herkus. Here's Lefebvre for the Avalanche. Yell, let it go to the Oilers line. Herc is there, and he'll dump it in. No icing here. And Patrick, who has been very active out of his goal, gets it on for Lemieux. He was crunched between two Oilers, and it goes back in behind the net.
Waite and Zalapukin both hit it, one from behind, and then pushed it right into Waite.
Now Lefebvre at his own line, off the boards to Forsberg. He leaves it for Adam Foote. And a long one in on Joseph, who was pulled in Game 2. Said he was a bit surprised by the decision by Ron Lowe, but certainly understood it, although he told me he wanted to stay in the game.
Ron Lowe said, I wasn't going to leave him in a game like that. I guess he felt the Avalanche were playing at a level that maybe his club couldn't catch up in that game.
Now Forsberg is upended by Hammerlick. And the fans love that. Komensky back into the zone. Gets to the slot, a shot, and that was wide. Now Forsberg picks it up, takes a hit, gives the puck to Kamensky. Centers one right through the legs of Lemieux, and now a call made against the Oilers, as again they are trying to play this Forsberg line as tough as you can be, but maybe went over the edge there.
Well, Peter will absolutely, Forsberg just infuriates you because, you know, you talk to the players, and again, John, it's so easy to sit up here and talk about what Forsberg does, but you're guessing. When you ask the players, they just tell you how tough he is, the balance and the strength. You think you got him lined up, and he ends up knocking you down. Well, then you're mad. Then you're a little embarrassed, so you go at him a little harder, and he does it to you again. So you've really got to keep your cool against Forsberg because he is so strong.
And Buchberger goes off for roughing. 13-16 the time. The Avalanche are 0 for 1 on the power play today. And 3 for 15 in the series.
But the Avalanche, John, in this offensive zone have won some key draws. The one key draw they won led to a goal.
And Sakic, who won that faceoff on the goal by Krupp, will take it here against Marchand. It's Sakic up front between Deadmarsh and Lacroix. And Sakic gets it back for Ozolinsh. Now for Sakic, who goes back on defense but gives it up. And the pass to Marchand. He's got a break. And Sakic got back and made a great play to hold up the speedy Marchand. Now Deadmarsh back in. He'll get it behind the Oiler goal. Joseph goes on the boards and cleared to center by Lindgren.
I did not think that Sakic could catch Marchand. Marchand is so quick, but Sakic just found that extra gear and made a great play.
Now 35 gone in the power play. The Avalanche with a 1-0 lead. Sakic to Ozolinsh. Forsberg awaits it on the far boards. Nienema trying to clear it. Now Eric Lacroix to the corner. It comes right in front, and Joseph will lunge and hang on.
Well, for Joey Sakic, since coming to Colorado, this is his 41st playoff game. And with that assist, John, he now has 61 points. So watch the speed, because remember, Todd Marchand may be as quick as any player in the game, and Sakic, a great job of catching and not taking a penalty. It looked like the least he was going to have to do was pull Marchand down.
And that was the key. He did not take a penalty. Now Forsberg out at center ice here between Komensky and Lemieux. Krupp and Ozolinsh back on defense. Krupp has the only goal, although they might change it to Deadmarsh. And get the face-off, and Krupp a drive right on goal, and a save by Joseph. Ozolinsh kept it in. To the corner now for Forsberg. Trying to center, he does. They score! Lemieux! And the Avalanche get a power play goal, and it's 2-0.
Again, the Avalanche win a draw. The puck is moved around. Great presence of the Avalanche. They get a little luck as the puck comes right to Lemieux, but when you're standing in front of the net, that's where that puck is eventually going to come. You see Forsberg, nice play coming out of the corner. The defenseman does a good job. Joseph had to react and go across. And when he did that and the puck got redirected, he had no chance on coming back. And for Our man, number 22, Claude Lemieux. That's his 71st playoff goal. That passes Mario Lemieux.
That is pretty high company, passing Mario. Lemieux gets it from Forsberg. Also, Krupp with an assist. A power play goal at 14-19. And it's 2-0 for the Avalanche. And they've done what they've had to do here in Game 3. They killed an early Edmonton power play, got an early goal, took the fans out of the game, and have now scored on the power play.
And when you look at the numbers, I mean, do you see just how important Lemieux has been to this Avalanche club since coming over from New Jersey in a trade? They've only lost 4 times when he scored a goal, and he has a big one, a power play goal. And again, this is the power play that Mark Crawford was so pleased with. But John, you have to think how tough it is for Edmonton. You got Sakic with his group out first. They don't get it done. So what happens? You throw out Forsberg and his group, and they get it done this time.
Lemieux gets the goal from Forsberg and Krupp at 14-19. Now 5:15 to go, first period. And Fitzgerald does a good job interfering with Bobby Dallas, and the puck down the ice. Now taken by Marchand. On for the rookie Scott Fraser. And cleared away by Miller. The Avalanche have not spent a lot of time in their own zone in this opening period, and that has been a key. The defense has been hard-hitting. They moved the puck quickly, and the Avalanche own a 2-0 lead.
Jason Capono, Lakewood, California. Grandfather, he taught me how to shoot, really.
He's been watching my brother ever since he was little.
Hello, Grandpa.
Ever since he started putting a basketball in his hand.
Glad you can make it.
He's a good fan.
Come on, Grandpa, show him the shot.
He roots him on.
The one-legged shot.
Probably made a good 80% of the games, too.
I think Jason has a good opportunity to go to college.
Letter from college? 265 letters, all in one day. That's me, slow, white, can't jump. But still, I can still shoot, I can still pass, I can still score. It really doesn't like stop my game. That's my grandpa shot right here. I hate studying, I hate doing my homework, I hate doing my projects. You know, I get an A, you know what I mean? I still hate going to school. I really didn't start playing it like a lot until 7th grade. Playing in spring leagues here, playing in tournaments here, traveling the world and stuff like that. It's a pretty busy life for a 17-year-old kid.
Well, the team store is having a hat trick sale. Buy any 3 adjustable hats for only $30 at any of the team store locations, Cherry Creek Mall or downtown on the 16th Street Mall. Along with Tom Green and Peter McNabb, I'm John Kelly. Live in Edmonton here in Game 3. The Avalanche lead this one 2-0 on goals from Krupp and Lemieux. And that will be an icing call against Colorado.
And John, just to correct myself, that Detroit-Phoenix series is not a 1 seed versus 8 seed. Detroit's the 3rd seed in the West, Phoenix the 6th seed. The 1st seed, Dallas, was beaten today 4-1 by San Jose, the first game back in the Shark Tank. But on the other side, there is an 8-1 upset in the making. The number 1 seed, New Jersey, was beaten for the 2nd time in overtime, 2-1, by the Ottawa Senators.
Alexei Yashin with the winner on a power play in that one. After 2 games in this first round, 6 of the 8 series were tied 1-1. And as we speak right now, only St. Louis is undefeated in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. The Blues lead the Kings 2-0 in that series.
And it was a much different game last night, St. Louis and LA. A blowout game 1. The second game, it took a late power play goal by Jim Campbell to have a 2-1 victory for St. Louis in that game.
4:44 to go in the first period. The Avalanche with a 2-0 lead. Greer on the faceoff. Sakic got it. And around the boards it goes. Yell tried to tip it out. Now Greer on the wing. And plays one in deep for Zelapukin. He left it there, and Joe Sakic had a chance to clear it. Now Greer a shot. A big pile-up now finally taken by the Oilers. Back to Berehowski, a blast. And that was wide. Herkes gets it. In front of the goal, and Zelepukin tipped it toward the net. Waugh got a piece of it, and the Avalanche clear it down the ice. This will be an icing call. Peter, we've seen the Avalanche dominate in the face-off circle. Through the first 2 games, the Avalanche had won 85 draws and lost 58.
And those are great numbers. I mean, that means that, and the one guy that has, I think, really stood out has been Peter Forsberg. And to me, it's concentration with Forsberg. He has all the skills to be a great face-off guy, and I think right now he is just concentrating at that playoff level. Claude Lemieux, John, he just loves this time of year, doesn't he? I mean, you can just feel that energy from Lemieux. If you see him on the plane, you see him around the rink, he has that look. You can almost look at him and say, hey, it must be springtime, it must be playoff time.
He's built for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Big, strong guy, durable. Here's a shot by Guerin, tipped on goal, and a save by Waugh. And Forsberg takes the rebound ahead for Fitzgerald. Deadmarsh is alone in there. He's onside, and Deadmarsh cuts in and never got a shot. A good recovery by Mironov. Now the puck to center, Kamensky there. In for Forsberg. Leaves it, Kamensky. Can't get a shot, and Doug Weight tips it out for Edmonton. And back in it goes, and taken by Mironov.
The next goal in this game is going to be absolutely huge in this series. Edmonton gets it. They get this crowd back into the game. They get some confidence. The Avalanche get it. And I'll tell you, it's going to take a lot for Edmonton to come back in this game.
Now Forsberg to Kamensky. Lost it near the line to Ryan Smith. He's been rather quiet so far with only 1 assist and 6 shots in the first 2 games. Here's a pass to center for Fitzgerald. And a bouncer ends up back of the goal, Nienema. He was run hard by Lacroix. And Lindgren now off the boards to Musil. Slowed up at center. And again, the Avalanche control the neutral zone and get the puck. Ozolek to Yale. And on the glass by Lacroix and down the ice.
And it's interesting. The one change for the Avalanche since game 1, the defensive pairings. Foote and Gusarov still stay together, but it's now Ozolek and Krupp, Miller and Lefebvre as the pairings.
As Waugh sends it around the boards to Reichel, chops it, doesn't get it out. Here's Krupp in deep. Rem Murray trying to drop it back to Dallas. A shot, didn't get much.
Is doing a good job in the faceoff.
1:45 to go in the first period. Waugh again out of the goal, makes a good play. Kamensky had a chance to clear it. Now Forsberg will. And on for Aaron Miller. And he scuffs that one wide from outside the line. Mironov. He fell down. Kamensky picks it up. In front to Forsberg. Oh, he had Deadmarsh open. Deadmarsh has played a couple of shifts on this line. Now he lets it go. And a save by Joseph on Deadmarsh. Now Deadmarsh again. Bumps with a Hammerlick. And Herkes on his knees gets it out. And then Gusarov rides Greer to the board. And Adam Foote plays it back to center with 1:05 to go in the period. Here's Greer. Doesn't get it in. Keith Jones for the Avalanche, and he'll flip it in. Nienema trying to work it away. On to Musil now for Ryan Smith. He missed it. And Adam Foote at his own line in the final minute of the period, and it goes over the boards right at the Avalanche bench.
Well, we're going to have a look at the Western Conference and how it's shaping up. Dallas still leads 2-1 in that series. Mike Modano played today. Nieuwendyk didn't, and he will be gone for the remainder of the playoffs for Dallas. A huge loss. St. Louis played very well games 1 and game 2. Colorado Edmonton obviously tied 1-1. Phoenix, the big upset so far in the West, they're up 2-1, and it's going to be a very interesting couple of days around the Detroit Red Wing camp.
And another big game today, the Capitals in double overtime win it 3-2 over Boston. And the Caps lead the series 2-1. Joey Junot got the winner, the second consecutive double overtime game in that series. Boston had won game 2 in double OT. The Avalanche trying to clear it away here, and Yale does. 20 to go in the period. Now Ryan Smith back for Musil. Niederman trying to lob it in. Foot to the corner. Against Smith, an icing called with 8 seconds to go. And we get our first sign of trouble here late in this period.
Well, you have to think that the Edmonton Oilers are frustrated. You know, you watched them practice yesterday. You saw them arriving at the rink. The crowd was into it early. It just looked like it was a perfect opportunity. If they could come out and get something done. They had their power play opportunity early. They didn't score, John. That can be, when you look back, that may be a key moment in this hockey game. The Avalanche kill off that first power play. They get a power play goal of their own. Sakic, sets up Krupp with a face-off, and suddenly, when one of the smartest periods we've seen the Avalanche play in a long time, they're going to walk out of here at least 2-0.
And we spoke a bit earlier about the Eastern Conference. Again, Ottawa wins in overtime on a Yashin goal. The number 8 seed Senators leading the Capitals, a 2-1 lead. Pittsburgh, Montreal, 1-1. Buffalo, Philly, also 1-1. There have been a lot of great battles already in this first round.
Well, that Pittsburgh, Montreal series. Wow, that is a whole new wrinkle.
We thought the trap was bad. Sakic gets the face-off. Here's Krupp, a blast. Rebound, hit the goalpost. What a chance there. And the period will run out as the Avalanche nearly scored a late one, but it hit the far goal. Teams are at full strength. As the Oilers again have Buchberger on left wing, Wade at center, and Guerin on the right side against the Forsberg trio. And Forsberg gets it out. Now Lemieux near the Oiler line, but gobbled up by Buchberger. In for Guerin. In against Adam Foote. Now Buchberger trying to center, but Gusarov had perfect position. And the Avalanche work at the center ice. Now Kamensky hands it right to the captain, Buchberger. He was drilled, drilled by Lemieux. And a call against Lemieux, I believe. And I thought it was a legal hit, unless he didn't have the puck.
Well, he was the last one to touch it. He had the puck and he dumped it, and again, I just don't think he saw Lemieux. Now watch. Buchberger's got the puck. Yeah, the puck was a fair ways away.
Interference at the 42nd mark. So the Oilers crank up their power play. They are 0 for 1 in the game.
Well, John, you keep looking. If you're Edmonton, you keep looking for a spark. And you got to have your guns get out and get something going for you. And they got the power play. Just like the first period, the Avalanche were the first team to take a penalty in the first period. Edmonton won the power play. They couldn't get anything done. Edmonton needs to get something done on this power play.
So far, the Oilers in this series have scored 5 goals, 3 on the power play, 1 at 4-on-4, and 1 goal at full strength.
And that 1 goal at full strength was that strange one by McCammon where everybody just fell asleep.
Now the Oilers, Fraser gets it back on the line for Niederman to Fraser. He walks in, tipped out of midair by Lefebvre, right down to Berehowski. Now Niederman, a drive right on goal, and Waugh with perfect position. He made the save on Niederman.
Well, Niederman was all by himself, but he was standing still. He was going to have to take the wrist shot, and Patrick, just watch Patrick. The puck is going to get batted in the air. Now, Patrick never loses sight of it, never takes his eye off it. That's amazing. The puck will slide over, and watch him come out. Takes 1 step and out. Perfectly square to the puck. You talk about a great example of a concentration that Patrick Waugh shows during the course of a game. And John, these aren't things that other team isn't aware of. I mean, they know right now that they're going to have to do something spectacular to get one by Patrick Waugh.
And the Avalanche try to clear it. Gusarov hit a leg. Now it goes to Ryan Smith. For Mironov, back to Smith. Right point, Hammerlecht. That shot hit Gusarov in the skate. Now Forsberg, a nifty play between his legs to Adam Foote. That's some confidence, folks. And Foote will walk it to center and dump it down the ice. Here's Roman Hammerlick. Picked up in a trade from Tampa Bay this year. Former first overall pick in 1992. Gusarov will turn. Hits Hammerlick, and it stays in the zone. 50 seconds to go in the power play now. Wade on the far side. Gusarov bumps Guerin, and it comes free. Forsberg, oh, what a hit on Ryan Smith. Smith lost his helmet, lost the puck, and Forsberg clears it. Now the Oilers right back in for Fraser, too high, and the Avalanche will take over, and Deadmarsh scampers through the neutral zone. Short-handed to Sakic. Lets it go, and a blocker save by Joseph on that short side shot by Sakic. 15 to go in Lemieux's minor. This is Doug Waite, their leading scorer during the regular season. He's pushed by Lefebvre and now chops it back to the goal to Dean McCammon. Banks it off the boards to Mironov. Niedema shot, and Waugh got his left pad on that. And Lefebvre tips it ahead. The Avalanche have killed it off. And Sakic is away. Now to Lemieux. Here's a 2-on-1. Lemieux walks in. Lets it go, and a save by Joseph on that 2-on-1 shot by Lemieux. Fraser back for Edmonton. Into McCammon, a shot. And that was wide. With that last kill, Prime Star donates $50 to the Colorado Special Olympics. And the Oilers are 0 for 2 and trail 2-0.
And the Oilers are starting to open it up. They're starting to make long passes to the far side, trying to break someone free.
16:40 to go in the second period. Here's Niedema up the middle. But Ozolinsh is right there. Down the ice it goes. This should be an icing call. It is, as Krupp wins the foot race against Zelepukin. He's done it all this series, hasn't he?
He's just been spectacular.
Krupp is in there. Sends it back of the goal. Forsberg in front. Oh, and Lemieux had a great chance and put it wide on a great setup by Forsberg. Hammerlick trying to clear it. And he goes up the middle by Mike Greer. No icing here. And Waugh will play it to the far side. A great job by Waugh. And now a long feed by Ozolinsh to Kamensky. He steps on the puck and falls down. And now chipped in to the Avs zone. And that is offside, or Greer would have had a clear-cut breakaway. Peter, in watching the game unfold, the Avalanche defense, again like they were in Game 2, the gap between the Avs defense and their forwards is very small, so when the Oilers get the puck between that gap, they have no room.
Yeah, they really felt, as a group, they sat back too much in Game 1. You just look at a couple of guys that have speed, Guerin, McCammon. They had 13 shots in Game 1. The Avalanche stand up, get on them early. Those two guys had a total of 5 shots in Game 2. There's Forsberg coming out of the corner. And again, you know, the vision is incredible. You can see Claude Lemieux, he has now moved up. He ties Brian Trottier 9th overall. And with a good series, he could go all the way up to number 6 in the history of the game.
The Avalanche with a 2-0 lead. First period goals from Deadmarsh and Lemieux. And the puck goes out of play.
A couple of good scoring chances.
Deadmarsh had the most shots of anybody in that period with 3. As Aaron Miller, he took a gamble and kept it in. Centering feed for Yell. He was knocked down. And Fraser to center, lost it, now gets it back. And plays one to the Avs line. Miller hammers it right back off the boards to center. And this is Fraser. Now taken by Tom Fitzgerald. Back for Lefebvre. The Avalanche in the midst of a line change. Play it down the ice. This will be an icing call as Musil beats Fitz.
Premier European players to ever come over.
And the face-off to the right of Patrick Waugh. Doug Waite has been reunited with Ryan Smith and Guerin, the line that's been together all season, in and out, and Buchberger is off this line.
And Tom Fitzgerald getting a lot of key face-offs, especially to the right of Patrick Waugh.
He is tossed, so Forsberg will take it against Waite. Waite gets it back. And Niedema's shot was blocked by Lemieux. And down the ice it goes. Number 15, Drake Berehowski, the ex-Maple Leaf. And he'll ice it. And the fans here in Edmonton not very pleased with that call. By the way,
they had Gretzky, they had Messier, they won 5 Stanley Cups, and his ownership is over. It'll be a sad day.
The Oilers also got a $2.5 million tax break from the city of Edmonton last week. They will play rent-free starting next year here at the Coliseum. 14:10 to go. In the second, the Avalanche with a 2-0 lead, looking for more. Kamensky down his off wing. Now gets some assistance from Lemieux. He has the puck. Lemieux using his strength. Turns and has a shot blocked. Now Forsberg gets it. Forsberg in front. Spins away from everybody into Gusarov. Looking to make a pass, and that was blocked by Guerin. And the Oilers drop it off for Niedema. And a long feed to Ryan Smith, and he was covered by Curry, so he shoots it in. And Waugh plays it behind the goal for Gusarov. And up the boards he goes to center. Mironov for Smith. Try to hack it in, knocked down by Adam Foote. And on to Sakic. And he lost the handle near the Edmonton line. Now gathered in by Foote. Oh, he gave it up here. There's Mike Greer. Sends it back of the goal for Rim Murray. Murray to Mironov. He scores! What a shot by Mironov.
Well, after about, John, 7 minutes of textbook hockey by the Avalanche, they finally make a mistake, and the Oilers jump on it. We talked about them needing something big to get themselves a goal in this game, and that was a big shot by Mironov. He just walked into that and unloaded. Mironov coming in for this best. Nice pass by Rem Murray. And now that next goal went to Edmonton. They're back in this game.
He had the winner in game 1. Gets his second at 6:50 from Murray and Greer. And Joseph plays it up the wing. Greer is there. Held in, Yella shot. And that goes to the corner. Fitzgerald to drive, and that was wide. Now Ozolinsh on the line. To the corner for Keith Jones. Lets it go for Fitzgerald. Now into Ozolinsh. He was tied up by Greer. Then pushed by Greer. Jones gets it free. And now for Zelepukin. And the Oilers back to center. Now for Murray. And the crowd is back in the game. It's 2-1 for the Avs. On a goal by Mironov at 6:50. And dumped in deep Ozolinsh. Bothered by Herkus. Turnover. Buchberger. Look out in front. And Berehowski never got the handle on it, and it went wide, and the Avalanche ice it.
But it was Mironov, the defenseman, who got the goal. It was Berehowski, the defenseman, that jumped into the play. So Edmonton has upped the offensive discipline. Nobody wants to take a penalty. You want to play hard, but don't take a penalty.
And Denmark's a good job to get the puck off the boards. Now to Sakic, sprints into the zone. Here's Sakic, lets it go, and that was off a stick and wide. Now Denmark's back of the goal. Joseph has lost his stick, and the Oilers get the puck out to center. Lindgren. Joseph has his stick again, and Buchberger will dump it in behind the goal, and now runs into the Avs net. A penalty coming up here. And would you just say, Mr. McNabb?
Lindgren, and he took one away from the play. He just cross-checked Miller up high, right in front of the referee. I mean, he's going to argue and yell and scream, but you hit a guy in the side of the head, you're going to get it. It's going to be called. Here's the work at the other end of the Avalanche with that second line. Remember, they have not played that much together this season. Only a game, maybe 4 or 5 periods. So they're still getting used to playing against each other. Forsberg and Kamensky up front.
And Ozolinsh, who has 3 assists in the series, in for Forsberg. Gets it to the corner. Now gets some help from Kamensky. The puck free. Flipped high by Niinema, but kept in by Ozolinsh. Now to Kamensky in front. Behind the back for Peter Forsberg. Lemieux goes right to the front. Forsberg to Kamensky. Drops it back for Ozolinsh. Sakic is open, gets it. Left wing to Kamensky. Walks in, and his pass Lemieux was through his legs. Now back for Ozolinsh again. Ozolinsh fakes it to Kamensky. Fires one, and that was just wide. And off the boards and back to center. Both clubs making changes. As Marchand tips it right to Forsberg. He bumps Marchand into Sakic. Here's a 3-on-1. Sakic in front to Ozolinsh. Shoots. Hit the goal post. Oh, he hit the goal post. Now Ozolinsh again. He walks in again. Denmarsh. He scores. Oh, thank you. What a big goal. Denmarsh on the power play.
Beautiful passing by the Avalanche. John, I'm just going to watch here for a second and make sure they don't go upstairs because, look, nope, it's the goal of the Avalanche. They came close, and John, you know, you can see where just you've got to not take penalties against a club like the Avalanche. Here's the first one right off the post. A great shot by Ozolinsh, but Denmarsh, who now has his 2nd goal in this hockey game. Lacroix in front of the net. Mark Crawford talked about that early. God, he was never even close. But the Avalanche do a great job on that power. They actually beat Joseph twice and finally end up with the goal.
Well, I saw Denmarsh working on his sticks before the game, and he didn't like it. He said, this one's no good. Threw it away. He must have found the right one. He's got 2 today. And the Avalanche lead it 3-1. The goal, Denmarsh from Ozolinsh and Sakic at 9:51. And they are also 2 for 3 in the power play. What a big goal there, and what a bad penalty to take for the Oilers. Held in by Mironov. His shot was wide. And Fitzgerald trying to clear it. Ryan Smith a long one. Ends up in the near corner. Odgers with it. Waite was interfered with, but no call. And the Avalanche smartly play it down the ice, and this will be an icing call.
And for the Avalanche right now, Edmonton's
playoff games prior to this one going back to last year. Here are the Avs to center with a 3-1 lead. Lefebvre will send a bouncer in on Joseph. Doesn't handle the puck very well. And Niinema now back for the Oilers. To Herkes. And bangs it off the boards into the Avalanche zone. Waugh, who of course does handle the puck very well. And Peter, he's been near perfect so far in the series. Now Jari Kurri going wide. Through the goal crease. Taken by Herkes, and up the middle he goes, but right to Aaron Miller. Lindgren there, and he puts it high in the air and down the ice. 8:35 to go in the second. 3-1 for the Avalanche here in Game 3. The series tied at 1. Game 4 set for Tuesday here in Edmonton. Now Roman Hammerlick. To Zelapuk, and a drive, and a save by Waugh. He got that one up near the shoulder and made a good stop.
I think it hit him right below the mask, right there, and it dropped into his catching glove.
Avs with a 3-1 lead. Krupp tied up in the corner. Zelapukin trying to work it out of there. Of course, he came to the Oilers in the Guerin deal. Arnott went the other way, and the puck cleared the other way by the Avalanche. 8 to play, second period. Now Krupp for Lefebvre. His pass hit Mike Greer, but chipped out by Lefebvre, and Berehowski will get it at his own line. The pass for Hammerlick into Greer. Ozolinsh has a hold on him. Centering pass. It's loose. Right in the goal crease, and taken away by Ozolinsh. Oh, that was close. Now Kamensky for the Avs. Maneuvers into the Oilers zone. Pass in front, picked up by Lemieux. Lets it go right on, and a save by Joseph. He juggled it, but held it. Joseph, Deadmarsh with 2, Lemieux the other, Mironov the only man to beat Waugh. Forsberg on this faceoff against Doug Waite. And the Oilers have done better on faceoffs in the second period after getting killed in the first period. Adam Foote breaks it up, now on to Kamensky. Have 2 goals in game 2. Big hit by Lemieux on Nienema. The puck kept in by Foote and floats one to the corner. Nienema, he was rammed by Kamensky. And Lemieux has it again, drops it back. Forsberg near the line, and a shot off some skates in front. And Boris Mironov now to center. Left wing to Ryan Smith, and a wrister is caught by Waugh, and no further action.
Up here. And the answer is, gentleman who's playing his 199th playoff game tonight, but it was Jari Kurri for the Edmonton Oilers back in 1985. John, I believe 3 of those came in one series against the Chicago Blackhawks. He has some great memories of this building. 5 Stanley Cups, and he was on all of those teams.
Only 2 players among all active players have more Stanley Cups than Curry's 5. Kevin Lowe and Messier each have 6 Stanley Cup championships. Well, I said the faceoffs have turned around. Actually, they haven't, as the Avalanche control this one.
I bet they're getting a little better.
Jones tried to dump it in, fanned on it. And Scott Fraser gets the puck in there. Lefebvre turns and fires it out. And Musil did not wait long enough, so the faceoff will be ruled intentional, and they'll bring it down the ice and drop it next to Curtis Joseph.
And you see why, for the Edmonton Oilers to remain, any Canadian team to remain in Canada, how tough it is. You look at the average U.S. hockey team, and we're talking Canadian dollars here, but their tax burden is $3.9 million per year. For the 6 Canadian teams, it's $12 million per team. I mean, that's an $8 million difference. And that's why this $2.5 million tax break for Edmonton is a huge bonus in keeping this team here in Edmonton.
And if they sell 13,000 season tickets, they'll get another $2.5 million as a small market Canadian team from the NHL. So they're trying to hit the 3,000 mark, 13,000 mark, pardon me, in season tickets. 6:05 to go in the second period. The Avalanche with a 3-1 lead. Now Buchberger in for Tony Herkis. Left it for Lindgren. A drive, and that was off the stick of Odgers and on the glass. Hammerlick plays it down low. But Forsberg is right there for Colorado. Now Tony Herkis steals it. Centers one, but Ozolinsh tipped it. Held in, Musil, a shot. That was wide. Here's Buchberger. He was smashed by Ozolinsh. Held in, tipped on goal, and Waugh made the save on Herkis. Now Buchberger back in the net. Looks in front. Chased to the corner by Ozolinsh. And turned over. Forsberg with it. And he goes ahead to Jeff Odgers. And now taken by Hammerlick at his own line. The Avalanche get some fresh troops. Zellapukhin has a breakaway. Into Claire. Saved by Waugh with the right pad.
Zellapukhin's stick broke in half as he took that shot.
And Waugh made the save nonetheless. It looked like he got a lot of wood on it despite breaking his stick. What a save there on a breakaway. Now Mike Greer is bumped. He chips it in, but the play is offside.
That is just, you talk about a guy who's been struggling to score goals, Zellapukhin, and his stick breaks in half on a breakaway.
Front has a new stick and a penalty coming up here against the Avalanche. Interference.
On Patrick Waugh, right between his pads as he goes down. He was screened the whole way. Waugh will be in the right side of your screen. Perfect tip by somebody, either Smith or Waite. Smith does a real good job here, staying in front, being wide, standing tall, so Patrick has to look around him to find the puck. Right in front of that, you see all the traffic.
Wait gets it from a Hammerlick and Mironov at 16:46.
The Oilers, John, they have fought back in this hockey game. Dougie Weight, he's their big gun, their leading scorer. He's the guy that has to do it, and he got a big goal right there to keep them in this hockey game.
.16:44 the time of the goal. It cuts the Avs lead to 3-2. Now Denmarsh down low in the corner. Jones battles. Gets the stick up against Niinema. Bodies fly in the corner. Now it comes in front. And taken by Mats Lindgren. Sakic stops it at center ice. In he comes. Denmarsh follows up. Now Sakic, great feet in front to Jones. To Krupp. Backhander was just wide. Denmarsh back of the goal. Gets it free to Jones. Sakic in that corner. Perkis knocked it away from him. And Joni Niinema ahead for Edmonton. To the line for Buchberger. He lost it, and Uwe Krupp now to center. And here comes Peter Forsberg with 2:15 to go in the period. Forsberg in front to Kamensky. Oh, a good pass, but Kamensky could not handle it. Now down low, Lemieux with it for the Avalanche. He leaves it for Kamensky. Makes a move around Tony Herkis. In front, a shot and a save by Joseph. And the Oilers clear it down the ice. This will be an icing call.
Back-to-back, great shifts. First Sakic line with the... Oh, we saw a strange play the other night, John, as far as a net being knocked off intentionally by a Montreal Canadian player in overtime. Pittsburgh had a penalty shot in overtime. They didn't score. Montreal goes on to win that hockey game.
.92 seconds to go in the second period. The Avalanche with a 1-goal lead have never trailed in this one. And on a couple of occasions, they've had a 2-goal lead. As the Oilers out of their own zone, Fraser, he gives it up at center. Fitzgerald turns. Knocked down by Musil. And now Miller rolls it down the ice. Fitzgerald with a big hit at the Oiler line. He was down momentarily, and now he argues that's a bad call. He argued, and he'll go for 2. That is not what the Avalanche needed here.
You don't see, you know what? This is about as mad as I've ever seen Joey Sakic. Sakic's usually really good about just going over, making his point, and that's it. But right here, he chased the referee around. Now, here's the hit. Now, this is, remember, the left side, we just saw the referee, the yellow armband, or orange armband. Fitzgerald comes in. Musil.
And this is why Fitzgerald was mad. He wanted a call.
But it looked unintentional by Musil. He just had the one hand on the stick. But he gets clipped in the head. He gets up mad. He says something.
And he goes for 2. And the Oilers 1 for 3 in the power play, have a chance to tie the game.
But who does Mark Crawford throw out there, John? This is coaching, I think, aggressively. He's got Sakic and Forsberg out there. These 2 offensive guys. So if there's a chance, look for those guys to go for it.
We are in the final minute of the second period. Doug Weight to center. He tips it in. Ryan Smith barges into the corner. Run by Gusarov. Smith kicks it to Guerin. Back on the line now for Hammerlick. Lost a handle and a turnover, and here comes Foote. And now played to the Edmonton line. Niinema the other way. Behind the back to Guerin. And down the boards to Smith. In for Guerin. Now to the far side. 30 left in the period. Smith sets up back of the goal for Doug Weight. Smith right in front of Waugh. Across to Hammerlick. He was in there. Hammerlick gets it again now for Niinema. Hammerlick lets it go, and blocked by Foote and cleared by Adam Foote. And 10 to go in the period. The Avalanche making a quick change here. Edmonton has to hurry. Hammerlick to center. In for Waite. No shot. And turned over, and that's going. With that kill, Prime Star donates $50 to the Colorado Special Olympics. Now Dean McCammon down the wing. Lets the wrister go, and a save by Waugh with his blocker. Todd Marchant to the corner. Battles against Aaron Miller. Now Marchant back to the goal. Lefebvre is on him. Lefebvre squeezes him out of the play. Marchant and Jones fight for it. Jones wants a face-off, but the Oilers won't let him. And the puck in front. Jones knocked a man down. No call, and the Avalanche will clear it back to center. Now Nienema lifts it in, not very deep. And Aaron Miller on for Kamensky. He goes wide on Nienema, now to the front of the net. Oh, in front of Lemieux, and he just missed it. Now Krupp on the line. Forsberg, the rebound, and he put that one wide. Oh, what a chance there for Peter Forsberg. And the Oilers clear it down the ice.
There's two great chances. One, nice play by Kamensky. Lemieux just about got his stick on the pass. Coming across, he would have just been able to tap it into the wide open net. And then Forsberg on the rebound. Krupp. Here's the first one. Good play by Neiman right there to lift the stick of Lemieux. And on the left side, you see Forsberg just take the block shot. Joseph was down. He was going top shelf.
Forsberg has one shot in the game. The leaders for the Avalanche in shots on goal, Deadmarsh and Lemieux, with 4 apiece. Forsberg on the face-off against Rem Murray. And Forsberg ties up Murray, now gets the puck in front of Kamensky. And a shot blocked. Here comes Ozolinsh. Throws it in front. Lemieux scores! Lemieux knocked it out of midair. What a goal! What a tip-in! And the Avalanche lead 4-2.
And Curtis Joseph pointing up to the heavens, obviously to the video replay. A play that looked like it was impossible as Ozolinsh went into the corner. He throws it across. He's taking the helmet off. He's going upstairs.
Well, he checked with his linesman.
This could be the call of the series, John. It'll be a 1-goal lead, or if they allow the goal.
Right out of midair. And let's look.
There's the left side of your screen, Lemieux.
Now again, he can go in once the puck is in the blue.
That's going to be real close, John. Here's the puck coming across. That, you can't really tell from that one. Because remember again, it's a cone that goes down over the blue. So even though once the puck in midair, John, enters the crease, then Lemieux can go in. So even if it's coming across, and once it goes into the blue area, even in midair.
If he'd be leaning into the blue, but his feet remained out. Yep. So Lemieux does get the goal. And is that ever a break for the Avalanche?
And we will update it again. Claude Lemieux has pulled into 9th place all by himself. Passes the great Brian Trottier. So when somebody asks you that trivia question, who's the highest scoring Lemieux in playoffs? You say with goals, it's Claude.
He gets a second of the game from Ozolinsh and Kamensky. Ozolinsh with 2 assists in the game, 5 in the series. Make that 3 in this game and 6 in the series. Pardon me.
They changed the second goal and gave him an assist. He now has 6 points so far in 3 games, and we haven't even finished the third one.
So the Avalanche with a 2-goal lead for the 3rd time in this hockey game. As Eric Lacroix gets to the corner now, Deadmarsh in front to Sakic. And chipped outside the line, back in, and offside. Yeah, they gave the second assist on the first Lemieux goal to Ozolinsh and not Krupp. So Ozolinsh with 3 assists in each of the last 2 games.
And Claude Lemieux, who picked up 2 assists in game 1, he now has 4 points. And John, I think that's the one thing that has surprised me about the playoffs. We're seeing some goals coming into today's game. there have been 96 goals in 16 games. As we look at the goal again, you're going to see Lemieux, left side. Now, you couldn't really see his skate. That's why you didn't know. His body seemed to be leading in, but was his skate in the blue?
And for the goal to be overturned, they have got to have definitive proof that his feet were in the crease. If they can't tell, it's a goal. And that's what I believe they ruled there, unless they had a different look at it. As Sakic gets the puck near the Oilers line, now brought in by Jeff Odgers. Off a skate and back to center. That fourth goal again, Lemieux from AVALANCHE and Kamensky at 2:14. And the Avalanche with a 4-2 lead early in the third here in Game 3. Two Avalanche lead here in the third period. 16:20 to go in regulation time. Ryan Smith at his own line. Checked by Forsberg. And Nienema back for Musil to Nienema. And chipped out by Doug Waite. Now taken by Adam Foote. And he'll send it back in. And again, run low at the last change. Elected to go head-to-head Waite against Forsberg. Now Doug Waite picks his way in there. A quick shot, and that was wide. Ryan Smith tipped one to the corner, but Aaron Miller, who has played very aggressively again, gets it out, and Sakic is on the move. 2-on-3 here. Sakic, now the late man. Oh, wide open, Lefebvre. Right in! And a pass for Deadmarsh, and he missed it. That was a pass by Lefebvre as the Avalanche made a great play down low. Sakic sucked everybody over to him, and what a chance there.
It just seemed to get up on Lefebvre. I think he meant to make a flat pass.
Now Sakic on Hammerlick, taken by Jones. Berehowski trying to clear it out for Edmonton, and he does. And no icing here. And Waz shovels it ahead for Yui Krupp. Good job off the boards. Now Sakic can't chip it by Musil. Fraser walks in front of the goal, but Lefebvre with proper position knocked it away. And Tom Fitzgerald will ice it for the Avalanche.
Well, a much different hockey game here tonight certainly than Game 2. We've only had 14 minutes in penalties so far in tonight's game. 230 minutes in Games 1 and 2 combined. So both clubs kind of, John, I think, got it out of their system in the latter part of Game 2 and have settled down to play some tough hockey here tonight, but stay away from too many penalties. You know, here are some of the big games around the league. These are individual games. Court Nolan, Game 1 against Los Angeles. Forsberg last game. Jeremy Roenick, Game 2 against Detroit. 4, 5, and 6-point nights, John. AVALANCHE tonight has 3 points. And there has not been a shutout yet in the playoffs after a record number during the regular season. So goaltending not as dominant as we thought it was going to be so far.
Scoring down again this year, but it's up in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. That's good to see. Lindgren for the Oilers in the corner, but Fitzgerald there. Great pass to Eric Lacroix. And from center, he bangs it in off the leg of Mironov. And Buchberger. He'll reverse the flow for Lindgren. 2-on-2, so he just dumps it in. And again, wide of the goal, gets it by the forechecking of Lindgren, and Krupp marches the puck to center ice. Hammerlick going back for Edmonton as both clubs make some changes on the go here with the Avs up by 2. Kucherov tips it on for Kamensky. And he knocked it down with a high stick, so now lets it go. And Patrick shovels it ahead to center for Lemieux. Into Kamensky. 1-on-3. And he can't go around Berehowski. And the puck played to center to McCammon. Dean McCammon, far side. Here's Waite. Lets it go, and a save by Waugh with the left pad. Waite again. On the line to Berehowski. In deep it goes. Now cleared by Foote on to Lemieux. Both Lemieux and Deadmarsh have 2-goal games. And Lemieux from center tests Curtis Joseph.
And And John, for the 5th time, Patrick Waugh has touched the puck, moved the defenseman, and they've got it out of the zone. That's 5 times in the last 2 minutes that Waugh has led to the puck getting out of the Avalanche zone.
Now a turnover in deep. Joseph trying to work it ahead. New steal there for Edmonton. And gloved to center by Zelapukin. Patrick Waugh not quite as adventurous, shall we say, as he has been in the regular season. But Peter, he hasn't made a mistake out of the goal in the first 3 games.
He's been very controlled, very, very smart.
Zelapukin back of the goal, kicked away by Krupp. Murray is in on it. Oh, a penalty coming up here as Mike Greer was knocked down. And now the puck is touched by Jones, and interference against the Avalanche.
Well, it was a power play goal by Doug Waite that pulled Edmonton within 1 goal in the second period. Now they go back on the power play.
Pad save by Joseph. Now Yelp tips it toward the goal and taken by Waite. The Oilers are 1 for 4 in the power play in this game and 4 for 21 in the series. Been down by 2. And Yell is there again, and he'll whack it off the boards the length of the ice. Hammerlick and Mironov, the point men again up front. It is Doug Waite, Ryan Smith, and Bill Guerin. Remember, Guerin's the guy with 3 power play goals in the series. Smith to the corner, covered by Gusarov. Now Waite shovels it back on the point to Roman Hammerlick. On the boards to Waite. He walks in. Try to get it back on the line, but it hit Forsberg now to the corner. Foot trying to clear it. Gusarov will clear it down the ice. A minute gone in the power play. The Avalanche make a change with their forwards as Hammerlick inches his way into the zone now for Waite. Back of the goal. Waugh can't stop it. McCammon to the far side. Here's Waite in the corner. To Mironov. Over to Waite. Mironov again. Gets it. Blocked by Yale. Mironov now to Waite. Left point to Hammerlick. And that shot was high and wide. 30 to go in Ozalinch's minor. Doug Waite to the slot. Stopped by Lefebvre. Picked up by McCammon. Back on the line to Mironov. Lets it go. And a pad save by Waugh. Hammerlick kept it in. Great pressure by Edmonton on this power play. Waite looking to center. To Mironov. McCammon to drive, and that was wide. Hammerlick on the line. Ozalinch is back on. So the Avs have killed it off. Hammerlick another shot. That sailed wide. And Lefebvre will carry the puck to center ice. So a huge kill by the Avalanche. And with the kill, Primestar donates another $50 to the Special Olympics.
The Oilers had good pressure, but they couldn't make that one play to really set somebody up for a good shot down low. Well, for the Avalanche, you got to give a special way to go to the training staff today. As you know, each building, you know, the visiting benches are sometimes a little bit different. And for the Avalanche, they had to string together a little makeshift bench today so they could have all the water bottles down below. So Rob McLean and the training staff were out early fixing up the bench to make sure that, because every bench is different around the league. So the Avalanche training staff made things as comfortable for the Avalanche as they could on their opposing bench.
Look at the numbers for Joe Sakic on the faceoff. Although he wins, Lindgren wins this one. Now Sakic's in front to Deadmarsh. And he can't get a shot now. Sends it down low. Away from the play. Jones involved with Berehowski. Cleared by Berehowski, but not out. Deadmarsh is there at the line. And still on the blue line. Finally cleared up in the air. And out to center. Krupp gets it right back in. Lost his helmet on a hit by Herkus, and the play is offside.
Well, Herkus, who's picked up on waivers, had a great season for the Edmonton Oilers. The good, smooth center iceman right there. Gets the little elbow up on Krupp. The long way up. 6'6", Huey Krupp. The Krupp, you know, he gets that look in his eyes too. I mean, this guy is one fierce competitor. When he gets that look, he's an intimidating force. And we get back to the idea that you have to remember the Avalanche did not have Krupp for a single game last year in the playoffs.
Now Niedermeyer ahead. Glove down by Adam Foote. 9:25 to go in regulation time. The Avalanche with a 4-2 lead. Gusarov near side for Foote. Chip to center. Niedermeyer over for Berehowski. And back in it goes. And a bouncer steered wide by Wall. Foote in the corner. He gets some support from Lemieux, who turns and fires it down the ice. And Joseph out of the goal lets it go for Berehowski, who sails one to center now for Guerin. In with Zelapukin. He scores! Bill Guerin!
John, 3 times in this hockey game, the Avalanche have had a 2-goal lead. 3 times, Edmonton has fought back with a good, hard effort to pull within 1. And this time it's Guerin who's been the offensive star. This will be his 4th goal of the playoffs. He only had 2 playoff goals coming into this series. Seems to beat Patrick through the 5-hole.
11-11 the time. It's now 4-3 for the Avalanche. Guerin gets his 4th. Doug Waite made the play. Now Greer is in there. He was knocked down. No call. The fans yell about that. And Yale heads the other way for the Avalanche. He was hammered by Mike Greer. Now knocked down at center. Waite and Berehowski with the assist on the goal by Guerin. And it's a 1-goal Avalanche lead. Here's Deadmarsh. He's had a pair in tonight's game. Flip to center, Lefebvre. Now on to Jones, and he'll dump it in. Joseph ahead to Greer. 8 to play in regulation. And Greer chased behind his goal. Good forechecking by Jones and Sakic. Kirk is trying to get it out. He does, but Deadmarsh right there. Now Jones whacks it in deep, and the Avalanche make a wholesale change. 5 new players. And the Oilers try a long pass. This will be an icing call. Now they wave it off, and play goes on. Why they wave that off, I don't know. Buchberger scores! I don't believe it. Why did they wave that off?
They waved it off because they felt, John, that Forsberg could have played the puck. Boy, oh boy, you talk about every Avalanche player just stopped skating.
I don't believe it. Do not believe that.
I thought that there was a chance they could wave it off because of how Forsberg played it. But once his hand was in the air for so long, John, that's where it was set up. If he had waved it off right away, I think the Avalanche obviously. Now here's the play. You don't even see Forsberg in the picture. You see the Avalanche, they stopped. Everybody stopped, including Buchberger, who eventually is going to score the goal.
Two goals in 1:21. And the Oilers. We don't need to remind you that the Oilers stormed back in game 1, win down by 2. Here's the cross check.
Champion, hero, crime fighter. He is the Sentinel on UPN.
That was tough by Waugh. The Oilers trying to take their first lead of the night. Waite has Smith in front. Now to Guerin on the line to Hammerlick. Over to Guerin. Lets it go and blocked by Gusarov. And it sails into the crowd.
Playoff hockey, there is just absolutely nothing like it. You look around the league today, great games everywhere.
Now Yell on the draw against Guerin. Oilers win it in front. Oh, and Ryan Smith was open. 25 gone in the power play. Waite controls it. Down low to Smith, over to Waite. Back on the line to Hammerlick. Here's Waite. Pop shot, and that was wide. I don't think Waugh ever saw that one. Courtesy of a screen by Ryan Smith. Now Smith in the corner. And Gusarov, a great play to get it out onto Yell, and now Jari Kurri will dump it down the ice. 55 gone in the power play. It's 4-4, 6:05 to go in regulation time. Waite along feed, too far for Fraser. Waugh shovels to the corner. Now Smith controls it. On the line to Mironov. Wrister blocked by Aaron Miller in front. Miller overskates it. Sakic gets it, and he'll backhand it high and down the ice. Here's Mironov at the line. Lefebvre blocks Fraser. And the puck up in the air, brought back in offside.
It was a good, smart play made by Joe Sakic on that penalty kill. With all this emotion running, just running right through this building, the puck comes to Sakic. He makes a little spin, takes it on his backhand, takes the extra second to make sure he gets it out of the zone. And John, these are the guys like Sakic that have been through this, that are calm as all of the adrenaline starts to run through the fans, the building, everybody.
30 to go in the power play. Niedermacher cross corner dump in. Lefebvre bumped with Fraser. And tip back of the goal, McCammon. Trying to spin away from Miller. Now Marchand and Lefebvre there. Fraser has it to McCammon. On the line, Niedermacher. Oh, that shot was just wide. Held in by Berehowski. Now to McCammon, back of the goal. This is Fraser with it for Edmonton. Into McCammon. Fraser again. Walks in. Saved by Waugh. And the rebound is covered by the Avalanche goalie with Forsberg back on. With that kill, Prime Star donates another $50 to the Special Olympics.
Well, John, I did not think, John, with 5 minutes to go in this hockey game, we'd be looking at a 4-4 tie. The Avalanche have played so well. When you look back,
here, normally a winger goes ahead with it. Kicked away. And in some skates. Now Waite grabs it. Oh, he just missed. Just missed the far side, and Yell gets it out. And they say icy. Now they wave this one off. New seal. Ahead to McCammon. Nice move at center. And now drives it in behind Patrick Waugh. He leaves it for Gusarov. And ahead to Lemieux now for Forsberg. 3-on-2 here. Forsberg pulls up. Can't get a shot. And the Oilers counter. Zelapukin. And off the stick of Guerin, and that puts the play offside at the Avalanche line with 4:19 to go in a 4-4 game.
That great acceleration of Sakic. He seems to always be able to find just the right soft spot at the blue line. A place where the defenseman is going to have to back off, takes that one extra stride, and from 40 feet in, Sakic can beat you with that wrist shot.
4:08 to go in regulation. 4-4 the score. Sakic against Lindgren. Sakic had won 17 of 20 draws in the first two periods. Lindgren gets this one. And Hammerlick cuts behind his goal. Buchberger flips it high and down the ice. Huey Krupp retreating. And around the boards, kicked by Jones. Not out, but Ozolinsh steps up and makes a good play now into the captain. Sakic going wide, and a wrister floats into Joseph, and he'll hold on. Did not want to face up, but had no choice with the Avalanche bearing down on the Oiler goal. Time now to check out what's on tap, brought to you by Miller Lite. Game 4 Tuesday, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, right here on UPN 20.
And the 3 games tomorrow night, Buffalo and Philly. That series moves back to Buffalo. St. Louis is in L.A. St. Louis has a 2-0 lead. Pittsburgh and Montreal. And here's a real surprising one, John. The Montreal Arena, the Molson Center, is not sold out at this point for tomorrow night's playoff game. That is a bit, I can't remember the last time that happened.
Fitzgerald on the face-off against Rem Murray. Fitzgerald trying to go ahead. He does. Quick shot. And a save by Joseph. Now Yell gets it. Back to the goal. Zelepukin is there. But Miller on the right point. Kept it in. Into Yale. Held up by Musiel. Now Mike Greer trying to clear it, but Fitzgerald is right there. Oilers try again. This time Murray gets it out. Not very far. And Yale chips it back in, but he was offside with 3:20 to go in regulation.
Well, Fitzgerald, you don't very often see a centerman go forward. A lot of times it can really surprise you if you're not set up for it. And Fitzgerald almost caught the Edmonton Oilers napping. He bounces through, and Joseph has to make a good save.
Mark Crawford has cut back to 3 lines in this third. Odgers and Reichel haven't seen much action. Curry has killed some penalties. But it's crunch time now with 3:20 to go. Forsberg gets it and dumped in by Adam Foote, and this is Mironov. And flipped out by Mironov. It's going right on goal, so no icing. And Adam Foote reverses the flow to Gusarov. Now ahead to Peter Forsberg. Gets by one man. And cleared out by Doug Waite. Look out, Bill Guerin's after it. But Forsberg got back with a great speed. And now elbows Guerin. And the puck around the boards. Mironov held it in. Guerin centers, but Lemieux is on it. Oh, he stands on it. Hammerlick gets it. Saved by Waugh. Cleared outside the line. Brought in offside by Mironov.
And you just love how each play, I mean, you're thinking, okay, is this it? Is this it? Great burst of speed. Here's a play by Lemieux. He's got the puck just stripped off for a second. But it's that time of the hockey game. You almost have to think, we're almost in overtime now, John, you have to think, because next goal would almost, for sure, be the winning hockey club.
2:33 to go. Herkus, Buchberger, and Lindgren against Deadmarsh, Sakic, and Jones. As Krupp has the puck in his own zone to Sakic now for Deadmarsh with 2 in the game. Deadmarsh carries it in. Jones to the corner. He's working on Nienema. Now kick to the corner. Herkus there. Chipped ahead by the Oilers and back to center. And Ozolinsh at the red line. Gets some help from Sakic. Now Krupp into Ozolinsh. In with Deadmarsh. They can't get it across. Penalty coming up here against Edmonton. Now Sakic with it. A shot on goal and a save by Joseph. And a penalty call against Edmonton. with 1:53 to go in regulation.
It was behind the plays, the Avalanche. You know, this is where Ozolinsh becomes such a factor in a game. There isn't a defenseman on either club that would have been where Ozolinsh was on this play. He jumps up into the play, gives the offensive player an option, and suddenly the Avalanche have a real dangerous scoring rush with Ozolinsh up in areas, John. That pulls everybody back. There's Jones right there, number 11, right? He just got flipped. That's the penalty.
Now for Valeri Kamensky. Shovels it back to Sakic. Right wing to Forsberg to Sakic. In deep to Ozolinsh. Trying to get turned around now for Kamensky. He'll play it back on the line to Ozolinsh. Here comes Kamensky. Across to Sakic. He was open, but it hopped over his stick. Now Sakic gets it again. In front to Lemieux. Chipped away and back to center. And Remuri now for Edmonton. Short-handed shot and a save by Waugh. With 1:15 to go in the third. Sakic back. Into Forsberg around Mironov. Forsberg trying to tuck it under Buchberger, who holds it, and we get a whistle. Power play. Sakic gets it back to Krupp. And on to Sakic, chipped out by the Oilers in the final minute of regulation. Here's Krupp now for Sakic. He'll dump it in. Joseph stops it, but Denmark gets there first. Now around the boards, Krupp on the right point. On the boards to Sakic. Denmark's right in front. Here's Krupp. Flop shot, and that was blocked by Buchberger. Ozolinsh with it. Out of the corner. Jones in front. Can't get it there. Ozolinsh again. Now right point to Sakic. He'll walk it back to the corner. In the slot to Krupp. Fires one. Blocked again. Krupp gets it again. 20 to go in the period. Krupp into Sakic. Out high to Ozolinsh. And that was blocked by Doug Wade and into the crowd. Now Kamensky to the corner. Can't get a shot. Now Kamensky chipped at the Forsberg. 2 seconds to go, and that will do it. We are going to overtime. Hard to believe.